Hello, Internet. Welcome back to our Magiclysm series, episode 45. Today is a bad day, and I'm having a bad day. And if you're not in the mood to listen to me have a bad day, just move along. Come back tomorrow. There'll be another episode. Hopefully, we'll be more calm and rational. Probably going to be some profanity in this episode. In fact, I'm going to launch right into that right now. So if you don't want to hear me curse a bunch, you just move along, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm sorry. It's a bad day. So first of all, you probably noticed that the screen looks a little bit different. That is because Cataclysm has, despite nothing changing, I have not updated, I have not changed my game settings in any way. I've not changed my computer's settings. Despite all of that, it has lowered the resolution. It has increased the resolution on everything. And I specifically have it set to be zoomed in so that everything appears a little bit larger. That makes the text a little bit larger, a little bit more readable for those of you that are on mobile or don't watch it, pristine, huge resolutions. The game just says, fuck you, I don't care, I'm just going to do whatever I want. So I have no idea why this is happening. I've tried changing the settings to fix this. I've tried changing my Windows settings to zoom in on all applications, and it's just been giving me the middle finger. And I've literally spent the last, I would say, 45 minutes trying to get my computer to cooperate, trying to get Cataclysm to cooperate, and for some reason, every time I try to do anything with Cataclysm, it gives me a segmentation fault. So, fuck me, I guess. We're just going to be moving forward. Going to be clearing out this school while I gripe about why I am a miserable bastard. Now, I think what we want to do, man, I never even marked our car. That was dumb. Should have done that. We're going to pull our car over here because I don't want to have to hoof just bookloads of books all the way back to the vehicle. So we're going to hoof it back to our vehicle. Is it even nighttime? It is, so the night vision is necessary. We'll head up here. Actually, it's only 7. It's not necessary. No, don't do that. Turn off not dark at all. Yes, zombies, big surprise. There's a horde. I should have thought this through. They're going to come barreling over here, but they're going to be tripping over each other as we discussed in a previous episode. So not really a concern. Worst case scenario, they attack our vehicle, because I don't think they can really do anything to me. I would just shoot them and run away, and I don't think they'd ever really close gaps with us, especially with us in a vehicle now. We're going to speed by as quickly as possible so that there are fewer turns where they're... That's a chain link fence. Don't mind me, zombies. Just dumb as hell. Don't mind me. Just coming through. Yep. Just, yep. One of those days. Where you crash into chain link fences. Let's not hit the boulder. Let's pull up close to the school. There's not going to be too much that we need to be worried about. Even the higher evolutions of these zombies are not going to be very scary. Take a look at the damage. Quarter panel. Headlights still okay. Hub assembly's fine. Wheels fine. That electric motor was already in terrible shape, so I don't think that that's really a concern. Didn't damage it any further. Let's reload our SIG, and let's keep the SIG out. How much ammunition do we have left over? 23 rounds. We probably want to shift to the machete at some point. For now, we will let them trickle down to us and take shots. What are you? You look different. A human body. It's just a zombie? Did they get new sprites? I don't know that I've really taken notice to that sprite before. Really hate being this far zoomed out. I've gotten so used to playing much closer with everything much larger. It's really not a big deal for me because I'm on a big screen television at the moment. And by big screen, I mean the biggest screen I've ever seen. But it's only like, 40 inches or something. Pretty big though, by computer standards. And I can see everything just fine, but I feel like you are going to struggle to read some of the things on the screen. So I am sorry. I literally have no idea what to do to fix this. I have not updated. I've changed absolutely nothing about my setup, and it's just not cooperating. So hopefully we'll figure it out over the next couple of days. I'm too frustrated to do anything about it at the moment. Just having a bad day, you know. I came home from work. It's very early on Saturday morning. Came home from work. That's a survivor. That's okay. Come on, survivor. Moderately injured. Yeah, let's just put you down. Really thought you would go down in 1 since you were already injured. But okay. Let's move down here. It's interesting that it shows the sprite carrying a nail baseball bat. Which I'm sure is not on the corpse. It has a pipe bomb on it. Which I don't know why you would generate this with damage already on it. But, you know, okay. Yeah, like actually it makes very little sense that that would be damaged. But okay, that's fine. And I hate sprites that, you know, or descriptions that say, you know, that they would have a specific item and then they don't have it. We had that conversation when we saw the allegedly Kevlar security zombies. Where are you survivors coming from? Houses, maybe a survivor house up here. Small dump. Really nothing else jumping out at me that would be survivor. Maybe the VFW would have survivors in it. I don't know. There's a child. Let's murder a child. That'll make me feel better. Yeah, you know, just did the route. Came home from work and had stuff I wanted to do, you know, and I was looking at my footage and I realized, you know, I don't have as much footage as I thought as I would like to have for the week. And I thought, well, I'd really like to record. And then the family was making a bunch of noise and going about their business because it's very early on Saturday and they're going to a yard sale and just couldn't record. And then I was hot and I'm just miserable. I'm a miserable bastard. I complain about everything. This is the unsorted pile, I believe. And it's full. Great. It's full. So we'll make... This is supposed to be the tool pile. How much space is there? Hardly any space in any of these. Man. I didn't bring any tools with us. I didn't bring... We don't have metal sawing. This has metal sawing. I didn't bring a welder. Yeah. So we can't install more storage into this vehicle. Oh, that pisses me off. Let's drop this stuff just to get it out of our inventory. Hopefully we'll all fit on the tile. I don't know if it will. We'll keep the 5.56 on the trunk. Great. It all fit. Okay, we're going to head in here. Basically, I'm looking for first aid books is what I would really like to find, because if we can get our first aid up, we can start installing these CBMs with more reliable success rates. So first aid is a priority. Finding that middle ground. Computer book that we don't have would be nice. It wouldn't hurt to have a couple cookbooks. We really don't have any mid-level cookbooks. Any of the forging books would be fantastic. Really anything with recipes that we don't already have would be great. You know, now that we have a functional vehicle for the most part. That mechanics book would be nice so we didn't have to grind mechanics. Now that we have a vehicle that, you know, has some storage in it and stuff, we kind of want to work towards an electric forge. It would be really nice to be able to upgrade a little bit with some of the stuff. Grab our machete. I think we'll just melee most things in here to save us some bullets. You think of randomly lighting a fire, maybe on our way out. Maybe on our way out we'll burn this to the ground because, of course, try to access, of course, detached vehicle. So I'll be back. You know, because fuck me, I guess. I don't know why I would expect anything to cooperate. It's just been a bad day, you know? I stopped at the convenience store because part of my job involves interacting with stores. We're going to go fetch our vehicle again. At least we'll get to not crash it into a chain link fence this time. Man, that pisses me off. Yeah, stopped at the convenience store. Saw a guy I went to high school with. And, like, I hate him. Like, when I was in high school, he was in... You know, honestly, it's going to sound like I'm bashing him for this, but I'm not bashing him for this. But literally the only thing I remember about him is that he was in the remedial English class because he could barely read. And I know that that sounds like I'm bad-mouthing someone who struggles to read. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying all I remember about him, his dad's a politician, a local, like not a politician, but like a local figure in the community who holds a political, I don't want to say, just in case, if people maybe figure out who I am one day or something, then they'll, oh my God, he was talking about this guy. His father is a local figure in politics, and I remember he could barely read, and I remember he knocked up a really nice, kind of sweet girl, and then I always felt like she settled for him, which is terrible, but like, that's all I really know about him. I'm very judgmental. Don't hate me. I'm so sick of shrubs slowing down my car. Back up. And then we're going to hit this shrub going 24 miles an hour because it pissed me off. There we go. Like, is it so high? It's a shrub. I'm pretty sure if my car was going 8 miles an hour, I could plow through a shrub. We're going to stop here. We're going to murder these zombies again. Yeah, and I saw him, and like, he recognized me. We didn't talk, but he recognized me. We have 8 rounds left. Let's reload. Dangerously close. It's not. It actually was. For once, that message was remotely accurate. Not concerning, however. We're just gonna, shoot them to death because we have lots of guns. Please stop interrupting me before I get furious and throw my computer out the window. And he recognized me, and like he had this smug smirk, and I remember in high school, like he always had that smug, like he thought he was better than everyone because he was he was the politics kid, basically. And it's like he knew his dad was hot shit, and I always just really never liked him. He's just was a real dumb person. He was real aggressively racist. Actually, now that I'm talking about him, I'm remembering other things about him. He was like openly racist, which was not so good because my family is black and was at the same school, and so I do distinctly remember him calling my sister the N-word. So it's like, not great memories. Please, God in heaven, stop interrupting me. Why is this so hard to hit? What are we aiming at? A howling waif. Sorry, kid, you're done. Put these down before they, I really thought that would hit him. Before they get much closer. I can't stress to you enough how much I wish this would stop popping up when I aim. I don't really get that feature. I think most people use manual aiming. They don't, like, you can use the preset aims by pressing these buttons. No, by pressing these buttons. And it would be handy to have that interrupt when you're doing that auto aim type situation. But I think most people manually aim, and it's super frustrating. But then I'm just in that mood where I'm going to bitch. So he had this smug smirk on his face, and he held up the line for a long time talking to the cashier, and it's like you see that I'm in line right behind you with my tea, and you're there chatting up the reception, damn it, the cashier. And then he pulls out this wad of money, and it was like an envelope with like, I don't know, it was full of 20s and 50s. It was probably like $1,000. And I immediately hated him for it because I'm so poor, and I felt immediately resentful of this man who's just flashing wads of cash. And all I could think is like, this fucking guy who is racist, that I know is racist. Yes, stop, it attacked me. Should have done a partial reload so we would have had something. Really don't want to spend my battle rifle ammunition on these people. Maybe should have, because they might track to our car. There, we reloaded. We're running low on ammunition. We could have swapped as well to melee at some point. And I just felt immediately resentful because, like, I struggle for every penny that I earn. Like, I have so little money, you know. I actively avoided. Should have gone to the bank today to check my account and just see how much is in there, and I didn't because I was like so genuinely like it would just bring me down even further. I didn't think I was gonna spiral like this, or it wouldn't have mattered. I would have just gone, but like I didn't want to bring myself down. Roller's headlight is destroyed. That may have been where our crash came from. If they were hitting a vehicle up there and it was moving things. Vehicles often have issues with spawning and their coordinates and things like that. So it may have been a result of that. I'm not going to submit a bug report or anything. It just wasn't. Just not in that mindset, to be honest with you. And I felt like immediately resentful of this guy. And it brought up my teenage years where like I felt so alienated and was so angry at people. You know, and like I remember hating him because he was this smug shit, you know, who thought he was like, he just seemed like he thought he was so cool. And like, I just remember he was so like legitimately a hillbilly, you know, and I look at him and he has all this money. I know that he's married. I know that he has kids. And it just made me resentful. It made me think about how lonely I am and how this guy who's like a racist and, in my opinion, a big piece of shit gets to have a family. And, you know, it was the same thing when I saw my stepfather where I immediately, the first thought I had was like, this motherfucker gets to be married while I'm alone and miserable. He gets to go home at night and have kids and a family that presumably care about him. And I know, of course, like my therapist would tell me, you don't know that he's happy. You don't know that that was even his money. Like, for all I know, he stopped at the bank to get money out for the business and just happened to, you know, be pulling a 20 out of there to pay for his breakfast or whatever. And like, that's all true, but man, in that moment, I hated him. I hated seeing him. I hated being reminded of the person I used to be and the life I used to have and who he used to be. You know, I don't even know that he's that person anymore. For all I know, he's the greatest guy in the world. It's just my brain today immediately spat out like I don't know a good word for it. Venom. It was venomous. You know, this immediate response of like, fuck this guy. And then he goes back and his wife apparently works in the store. So, like, he goes back. Like, that's probably why he was chatting up the cashier, because his wife works there. They probably know each other. Really wish this smoke would go away. Let's just wait. Let's just wait 30 minutes. I don't care. Yeah, we're hurt. Oh, no. Please, I hit the ignore button. Dangerously close. Yeah, let's murder. I'm still blind? Oh, our battery. We ran out of battery. No, we didn't. We turned them off at some point. Hello, child. So that raises the question: how did I see the child zombie if I was blind? And he goes back to his wife and gives her a kiss and goes about his business. And like seeing him kiss her upset me because it was like, again. So here's the thing: when I see happy people, first date, we already have this and we can't use it. This we don't have, which probably will raise our first dates. That's really good. Archery book, I keep saying we're going to try archery, but then we never do. I mean, and now in this playthrough, we have so many guns that it's like super irrelevant. Really? There's a horde here too? And like a pretty decent sized one for us to be bumping into while we're poisoned and not very combat effective. Let's back up. That kid's tracking us pretty well. We're about out of ammo. You walked right to me. I haven't been here that long. You shouldn't smell me yet. You would think that would alert them, but they don't really pay that much attention to sounds, so we're just going to pick off some of them, I think. It doesn't matter which ones we kill. And like, sometimes the thing about being miserable is that when you're miserable, every sign of happiness hurts you. Okay, I shouldn't be speaking in generalities. For me personally, And my particular brand of misery, when I see happy people, it makes me hurt inside because I don't have what they have. Like it really is that simple, that petty of a thought. They have something that I don't have, that I have not had in a long time. And it physically, maybe not physically, it is extremely distressing. And it feeds the bitterness inside of me. Like him kissing his wife, there's nothing wrong with you kissing your wife, obviously. I know I bitched about the guy, but like, I kind of hope that they're happy and have a nice life, you know? But at the same time, my brain says, look at what they have that you don't have, that you will never have. Look how happy they are. Wouldn't that be nice? But you can't have that. And that hurts me. And maybe I'm not explaining it. So a couple years ago, probably a long time ago now, I don't really remember. I don't remember when it was. But there was this commercial, and I have no idea what the product was, but there was this commercial where it started with babies laughing. And like, you know, whatever. Kids are great. Kids are adorable, right? Most babies are cute. Great, a baby laughing. And then it progresses, and it's like a toddler laughing, and then a 2-year-old laughing, and then like, you know, a 10-year-old, and then a teenager, and then an adult, you know, mom and grandparents, and it progressed all the way through the ages with people just laughing. Oh, I remember it was for people. Was it a commercial for people who can't control their laughter? It was something like that, maybe. And this commercial was just people laughing from like birth till elderly, right? And I used to fucking hate that commercial because when I would see that commercial of all these people happy and laughing, it would remind me that I haven't really laughed in a long time. Like I'll chuckle, I'll say, you know, I'll hee or ha or whatever. But like, I feel like it's not the same as other people. You know, like I just chuckled right there, but that's not really, I'm not doing it because I'm happy. I'm laughing, honestly, probably laughing nervously because I don't know how to fill the silence or make sense of the random nonsense in my brain. But like, I used to see that commercial, and honestly, it made me cry. Like I would just straight up cry whenever I saw that commercial. Because it was basically like, it was literally a commercial devoted to people doing things that I'm not able to do. I'm not happy. And I have not been happy in a really long time, you know. I honestly cannot remember being happy. I'm sure that I was. You know, I think everyone is happy when they're little. But like my childhood, I was probably happy up until I was like 5. You know, relatively normal life. I mean, we were white trash, but like I was young, nobody was hurting me. It was just a regular old kid's life, right? And then there was my stepdad. Why am I even in here? We don't need to engage them. Most of the good stuff is on the 2nd and 3rd floor. Why are we even bothering? We should pick up some extra like backpacks if we see them. Not messenger bags. My stepdad came into my life and horrendously abused me. And like my life was suddenly not about being a kid. It was about being whatever version of myself I had to be to not be beaten and abused. And so mostly what that meant was shut your mouth. So I learned to shut my mouth. We're hydrated. Let's take the valuable things, the herbal tea. We can leave most everything else because we don't want to fill up on food here. We'll leave everything else and we can just eat out of these if we need to stay in this building. And like, my stepdad came around and we moved into the city where I was like one of maybe 2 white kids in my whole grade, and kids used to call me names and make fun of me for being white, and it was really hard on me when I was that age. And yeah, I don't know, like I've seen pictures of me I don't know if you've ever met a messed up kid. I've seen messed up kids. I've been that kid. I've seen kids like that. You know, there would be kids occasionally that would show up to church back when I was involved in church, and you could just look at them and you knew that they were not okay, that they were not all right. You can look them in the eyes and there's something wrong with their eyes. They're hollow. They're empty. That's what I look like in photographs. So I'm sure I was happy at some point in my life, but I don't remember it. And then there were times when I thought I was happy. Like I thought I was happy when I was like 20. You know, I had a serious girlfriend, and you know, I thought I loved her and thought things were good. But at the end of the day, like, no, I was cheating on her. You know, I was doing a lot of terrible things. I was hurting, like literally hurting people. And it's like, can't believe I thought that that's what, you know, that's what happiness was, to be that person. I just realized it was a different kind of miserable. I was miserable, but the edge was taken off by having a relationship and you know, just circumstance stuff. But I was never really happy. Why did you smash up my library? Now I have to sift through all of this to find my books. You sons of bitches. Honestly, I should call this episode. I really didn't want my craziness to spill over into 2 episodes, but I think I am going to record another one. And it's probably going to be more of this. So look, if you don't enjoy this kind of content, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's not good content when I go off the deep end. In fact, I'm going to take a break, smoke, and see if we can shift from anger and bitterness just to depression, because I think depression is a lot more identifiable, easily what's the word I'm looking for? It's more easily identified with than someone being bitter and angry about some guy he went to high school with. And usually what happens is I'm bitter and angry, and then I get sad. So I'm going to see if I can manufacture that in between episodes so that the next episode is a little less aggressive and a little bit more... I don't know. So, yep. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next episode.